It's April 10th. A few weeks ago, I took a helicopter flight around Los Angeles to see how things are looking now that people are mostly staying home. And a lot of people in the comment section suggested we do it again, so we're about to do that. And just like last time, I'm not going to make a bunch of edits. We're just basically going to just show what happens as I'm flying around. And I'm going to address a few questions that popped up from the first videos. Long Beach Tower, helicopter 90285, Russ Aviation, request South Cherry departure with Delta.
I'll go to 9285, Long Beach Tower, South Cherry approved, departure Ross Beach on risk.
South Cherry approved, departure on risk, 90285. Let's get moving. So we're taking off. You can see the 405 there. Right now it's almost 6 o'clock on a Friday. Typically Friday traffic is awful. And actually the 405 there, we're going to get back to the 405 in a little bit.
Cross runway 30 Juliet.
Traffic. Talking. So normally on a Friday, traffic on the freeways would be truly awful. And it is not awful. One thing I noticed is in the last video, I short shifted Long Beach. It's my hometown. And so we're going to do a little bit of a tour through Long Beach. Oh, new Jeep Gladiator. Cool. So let's see what Long Beach looks like. Actually, this is one of the first things that I've noticed is that there's a lot more traffic on surface streets than there are on the freeways, which is kind of the exact opposite of how Los Angeles normally works. Signal Hill off to my left. Wow. Sorry, my wow is in reference to the visibility. So we just had a bunch of rain the last few days. There's been a ton of rain in Los Angeles, and that really clears things out. So if I look off to my left there, I can see all the way down to Disneyland. That's not normal. So looking off the nose can, you can see there are a lot of ships out there just beyond the breakwater, and over here you get a cruise ship, and more cruise ships, and then more ships. There's a lot of ships out there.
Tower Sheriff 22, pad 3, request left close traffic. Sheriff 22, left close traffic approved, pad 3, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, Sheriff 22.
Alright. Looks like the beaches in Long Beach are pretty well abandoned. Let's see, one dude fishing or something out there. And a couple of people on the bike path, but pretty darn quiet. Just to appease my curiosity, let's go over here and check out the Queen Mary. Pretty abandoned. Looks kind of cool though. Long Beach Tower, helicopter 98285 and Queen Mary, request north transition following the 710.
Helicopter 9285, Long Beach Tower, transit through Long Beach up there, 2994.
Transition approved, 9285. And here's a quick look of downtown Long Beach. A little light traffic downtown, pretty darn quiet though. By the way, in the comments, in the last video, somebody asked, why do I always say the 5 or the 405? So in California, and I know definitely in LA, that's just how we refer to it, and my understanding is that all originates from when the freeways had names. So the Harbor Freeway or the Santa Monica Freeway, it was the blank freeway, so that continues even now. There's your fun fact. All right, so a little bit of traffic on the 710, but certainly not gridlock. I've sat motionless on the 710 many times on a Friday. So we do have a little bit of weather today, and for people who are wondering, this is not the kind of weather that's problematic. The winds are pretty light. Really the issue with flying, where weather is concerned, is visibility. So if the clouds were low, if there were fog, if visibility or low cloud ceilings were an issue, then we wouldn't be flying. But this is pretty great actually. The ceilings are certainly high enough, and a little light rain is not a problem for the helicopter. Now, last time we did this, somebody noted, and it was a great observation, that a CHP officer. So the question is, what's the CHP doing right now with the freeways so wide open? Because people are driving very quickly. let's see what my ground speed is. See if I can match it to, got something in my mouth. I have no idea what that was. Okay, let's try and match the ground speed of the traffic and see how fast we're going. Yeah, something like this. I'm doing 85 miles an hour right now, and I'm not gaining on that red car up there. Okay. While we're cruising along here, I'm going to address a couple of questions that popped up. So in my previous video, the comments were really encouraging and a lot of nice thumbs up, so thank you everybody for watching. A couple of quick questions. There were people who had concerns about that video. Number one, when I came from my house to the airport, I interacted with literally no one. There's a touchless keypad, or a little key access point for a gate, so I don't have to physically touch anything. And then the last time somebody touched the helicopter that wasn't me was the fuel guy, and that was literally 2 weeks ago. So if there's any concerns about the safety of me being out, I would have interacted with fewer people than you did last time you bought corn dogs. And then one other concern, somebody had mentioned that there is, you know, maybe I'm putting a strain on air traffic control. And what's interesting is that an air traffic controller from LAX reached out to me on social media and was like, "Oh, hey, I saw that video of yours and it was really great." And I asked him, hey, honest opinion, is this a bad time? Am I putting an undue burden on air traffic control right now? And he's like, no, we have so fewer flights versus a normal time that it's literally no burden. I think he said there were 1,000 fewer operations on that day that I flew past LAX than the previous year on that same day. Kind of amazing. I should have mentioned it earlier, but basically we're going to fly roughly the same course I did last time, so we can track what the video looks like this time versus last and see if there's any significant changes. I'm curious to see what the beaches look like past LAX, because there were a lot of surfers out and about last time, and you could see people social distancing. I'm wondering if there's going to be just less people this time. Torrance Tower, helicopter 90285 at the Porsche Experience. Request west transition to King Harbor.
Helicopter 90285, Torrance Tower, Torrance altimeter is 29904, transition approved.
29904, transition approved, 90285. Cool. Okay, so in the comments, there were a few people that said, hey, you shouldn't be flying lower than 500 feet. That's what the FAA says is the minimum altitude for aircraft. And that's true, except for helicopters, and I'm flying a helicopter. So if you look at the FARs, that's the rules that guide what people can and can't do in their aircraft, there's a clear exception for helicopters. And what's interesting is that in just a little bit here, I'm going to go into LAX's airspace, and when I do, I'm going to make a request to transition along their shoreline at 150 feet or below. And when I call them, listen to what they say. Because what they'll tell me is that unless there's some reason I can't go into their airspace, they'll say that that is okay. I'm allowed to enter the Bravo airspace at 150 feet or below. And it would be super weird if the highly trained people at air traffic control at LAX let me fly at 150 feet if that was super illegal. So I think there's maybe some confusion about how rules work for helicopters, but it's just really good to be clear that I'm not going to put out a video where I'm doing super illegal things in my helicopter, because that would be stupid. If you're curious at all about the helicopter I'm flying, it's an Enstrom 280C. I did a whole video walking around my helicopter talking about what it is and the things that are unique to it. One of the things that is a little bit interesting is that the pilot sits on the left side. Every time I post a video, there's inevitably somebody who's like, why are you flying from the wrong side of the helicopter? I'm not flying from the wrong side of the helicopter. This is the intended pilot in command position. It's so we can have a 3-seat bench here because the collective control is always on the pilot's left. So collective on the left, pilot on the left, 2 people can sit over here. But if you want to see more about the helicopter, if you're curious about it, there's a whole review, and I'll put a link in the description. Helicopter 90285, request right turn at the shoreline.
Helicopter 90285, roger, and frequency change approved. Have a good day.
Frequency approved. Good day. Goodbye. You can see Catalina off to the south there. Pretty great visibility all the way out towards Malibu. I'm pointing out things that you can't really see on the camera. Maybe that's some bad hosting. All right, turning right. Oh yeah, somebody in the comments from the past video, the previous video I did a couple weeks ago, said, why is this guy out spreading coronavirus from the sky or something along those lines? To which I should clarify, that is impossible. I could not be further separated. There's literally no way, even if I were really infected, I could spread it down to the people below me. So coming up here as I approach the Manhattan Beach Pier, I'm going to make a call to LAX Heli. And that's the frequency that people talk to LAX Tower on if they're on a in a helicopter.
2546 LA Tower, wind 180 at 4, running 25 left, clear to land.
Excuse me while I call LAX. Los Angeles Heli, helicopter 90285, Manhattan Beach Pier, request north shoreline transition 150 feet or below.
Helicopter 90285, LA helicopters, LA altimeter 29994, squawk 0243.
Squawk 0243, 90285.
Helicopter 285, clear through the Bravo airspace via the shoreline route northbound.
Clear to the Bravo, 90285.
Police 18, LA helicopters, LA altimeter 29994, clear to enter Bravo airspace via Area 1, squawk 0250.
2991. Okay, so do you notice how I asked for the transition at 150 feet or below, and then they said that was cool? So if there's any concern about the altitude I'm flying, take it up with these traffic controllers at Los Angeles International Airport. So I'm going to bring it down to 150 feet, and first observation, the beaches are empty. No surfers or anything. Wow. That's my standard wow every time I see something that's slightly interesting. But yeah, there's a single lifeguard just off to the right side of the nose. If you haven't seen the previous video, one of the things that popped up was birds. Birds are a bit of a problem flying along this shoreline transition. They will pop up and they're hard to see. Usually they're smart enough to get out of the way, but keeping an eye out for them. And then somebody also mentioned that drones, considering how low I'm flying, that drones might be an issue. And the thing is, this is Bravo airspace, so drones are prohibited here. You're not allowed to fly a drone here. So if there were to be an interaction between my helicopter and a drone, it'd be the drone pilot's fault. Nonetheless, I'm eager to avoid that, so bird. There's a seagull making a pretty aggressive fly towards me. Usually they're smart enough to get out of the way, so probably would have been okay, but I just prefer distance. You don't want important parts of the helicopter hitting a bird. So last time I marveled at the complete absence of traffic, well, not the complete, but the near absence of traffic by usual Friday standards in LA. This time I'm marveling at the lack of humanity out here. There's really, truly nobody. I know that that the authorities are cracking down on people like stand-up paddleboarding and surfing and that kind of stuff out here. So I guess that's working. There's like nobody.
Helicopter 285 at Marina, leave Los Angeles Bravo airspace north. Contact Santa Monica Tower.
Contact Santa Monica Tower at the Marina for 90285. Ah, a person. I found the one person on the beach. Wow. Got a sack and they're walking around. Oh man, dude's gonna get in trouble. Ah, family having a catch over there.
543. 2546.
My radio sounds awesome. Especially when I'm this low, it's very, very hard to get good signal, so that's one of the challenges. Okay, what do we got here? So near LAX, very few people, but as we hop on the other side here towards Marina del Rey, we have people. I wonder why that is. If you know why there are people near Marina del Rey coming up towards Santa Monica, tell us in the comments. All right, there's like a lot of people over here. Hey. Swapping over to Santa Monica. Santa Monica Tower, helicopter 90285, Marina Del Rey, request north transition along the shoreline.
Helicopter 90285, Santa Monica Tower, transition approved, Santa Monica altimeter 29904.
29904 for 90285, transition approved. So that was a very dicey moment there. While listening to the radio, a tiny flock of birds was all around the helicopter. I wonder if that'll show up on the camera. That was freaky. And there are more little birds. All right. There are a lot of little birds flying my direction. I'm going to pick up altitude and hopefully get above them. All right, so I'm climbing up to about 500 feet here. I'm going to go over the Santa Monica Pier, which I would imagine is completely abandoned. But yeah, it is surprising that the Santa Monica beaches do have some people out. And I see a lifeguard, doesn't seem to be shooing anybody away, so... Huh. No surfers, though. Just having a moment to think about those tiny little birds I managed to avoid, and that was very scary. Glad you could be here to witness that. Dicey. Santa Monica Tower, helicopter 285, request right turn at the pier.
Helicopter 285, that's approved.
Approved, 285. Ferris wheel lights are still on. Not much else happening there. One of the things that surprised me on my last flight was that, public transit is still operating because people need to get around even if they don't have a car. Just thinking about the implications of taking public transit right now, though. So if you do have to take a bus to wherever you're going, please be safe. I know you are. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. So this is the 10, and the 10 is always very busy, especially on a Friday. It is not at all busy right now. Another seagull watching you. The last time, one of the interesting visuals was coming up here in just a little bit. I'm going to cross over to the other side of the 405. So when you see the 405, this is always gridlock. It kind of doesn't matter when, it's almost always gridlock. So, in fact, let's do a little side-by-side comparison video when we get up here to see what it looked like last time versus this time to see if there's any change. That's roughly the same time. Right now it's, what are we at, 6:20-ish on a Friday. Yep, like last time, it's clear enough that I can identify specific cars. There's a Toyota Tacoma. That's followed by, what is that, a Scion TC? Nope. Oh, man, that's like a Jaguar F-Type. I am obsessed with cars. It is a Mustang. I'm so bad at this. I literally get paid to review cars. Okay, it's not as easy as I thought. It's hard to identify cars from 700 feet. So just like last time in the...
Helicopter 285, traffic over the Blue Well, southwestbound, type unknown, altitude indicates 1,100.
We have that traffic inside, maintain visual separation, 90285.
Roger.
You can see the helicopter over there. Great visibility makes it easy to identify them. They're heading southeast. So when he said the Blue Whale is like the art or the design center up here. It's this neat building with the red, green, and blue components, but aircraft, like when you're identifying your position, refer to it as the Blue Whale. I don't know why that is. I didn't make it up. Little bump. One thing I said I was going to do last time and didn't was go to Hollywood and Highlands just to see what's happening on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I didn't make it there. We will fix that this time. So in the description for this video, just like the last video, I've included the specific locations I'm flying over plus time code. If there is anywhere that you think I should fly and check out for a subsequent video, if I wind up doing another video, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can take requests and show your town from the air.
Helicopter 285, traffic a mile north of the wheel turn westbound, type unknown, altitude indicates 800, squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
We're looking for that traffic, squawk VFR, 90285.
700 below.
Helicopter 90285, Blue Whale, east, 1,100. There's that annoying crackle. All right, let's go over towards Hollywood. Here's the Roosevelt Hotel. Sorry, I'm overshooting slightly. There's the El Capitan. All right, so just beneath me here, you can see this is the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't see many people walking. I do see some traffic, though. How's it look to you? Helicopter 285, Hollywood and Highland 900 East. All right, you're actually divert this way. Capitol Records building. We're going to go take a quick peek at the Hollywood sign. That's the 101 beneath us, as mellow as you would expect it to be. And then, of course, this is the Hollywood Hills, where famous and rich people live. So we'll take a quick gander at the Hollywood sign, and then head over towards Griffith Observatory, and then down to downtown Los Angeles. See, we get a little of that parallax effect with the mountains in the background. Ooh, look at that. All right. Diving down, gain a little airspeed. So from here, I can see there are planes landing at LAX, but not a lot of them. One of the things I observed before I took off from Long Beach Airport is that there was essentially like no commercial flights, but there were a couple of cargo flights, like UPS landed. I think it was like a FedEx jet or something. There was one other airplane that was doing patterns, practicing flying. Take a look at the Griffith Observatory, which is, I believe, I see two dudes walking there. I'm guessing they're security.
Let's have 134 over Eagle, 1.8.
Helicopter 285, Griffith Observatory, southeast of Dodgers, 1,500. Ah, there's a rainbow out there. This entire video is just going to be me observing things that you can't actually see on camera. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll quickly divert over here just a bit to see what's happening the 5.
716 interchange northwestbound, 2000.
So what we're doing here, I'm not in any controlled airspace. This is just general LA Basin frequency. So the helicopters self-announce here. They basically just tell the other helicopters in the general area where they are, so we can keep track of each other. So when you hear me making those little announcements saying where I am, I'm letting just the other people who happen to be nearby know what's going on. All right, so this is the 5, and sorry, Highway 5 for all the people that don't live in California. We'll drop down here a bit. Helicopter 285, Silver Lake, southeast to Dodgers, 1,000. Dodger Stadium obviously doesn't have any people in it, but there are a lot of cars and what are those, RVs stacked up over there? Which makes sense because not a lot of people are buying cars. I review cars for a living. That's dismaying to me, but completely understandable. Wow, okay. That's a lot of cars. On a related note, if you are in the market to buy a car, I bet now you can get a very, very good deal on one. Okay, so here's downtown. Okay, this is the 110 and the 101 interchange. Usually a den of activity. And then just pull up here a little bit, take a moment to drink in the beauty of downtown. Helicopter 285, 110, 101 interchange, right orbit around downtown, 1,300. Okay, so you can see there are buses still moving downtown, and that's pretty much the extent of the traffic. For everybody who skipped the earlier part of the video, I will again note that the FAA minimums for distance from people in and property are different for helicopters. You're allowed to operate closer than FAA minimums as long as you do not present a hazard to people or property on the ground. So if you're about to leave a comment telling me I'm an idiot and I'm dangerous, please just go read the FARs and observe the exceptions for helicopters. Helicopter 285 Staples Center, right orbit around downtown Los Angeles, 1,400. Dip this way a little bit and get a good view of the 110. Once again, unsurprisingly, Los Angeles looks different. All right, let's follow the 101 over to the 5. I've lived here for years, so I can't turn off that Californian-style talk about freeways. Well, I think we've covered our bases. We flew around LA, saw a little bit more of Long Beach. If you have any questions about the flight, or if you have any suggestions for the next flight, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I also review cars, so if you want to see a car review, go ahead and watch one of those too. And if you're curious, if you want to have a more direct conversation, you can reach out to me on Instagram. It's just my name, Mike Amuzio, over on Instagram. The rains have started again. Okay. Well, I'm going to fly back to Long Beach. You guys be safe, okay?